Good morning, students. Today I am going to start chapter number 3, Journey to the End of the Earth. And the writer of this chapter is or article is Tisani Doshi. And it is a very interesting story. And this is the right now we are facing the problem, and this is the most important problem on earth, or you can say on a world. And we look at this problem and we have to take part to solve this problem about the earth and how to save the earth and the whole world from the depletion, from the destroy of the whole earth. Okay, so let me tell you something about the introduction of the story. This story or this lesson is revolving around the world's most preserved place. And that place is Antarctica. Not many people have been there, but out of few that have, and one of that is Tishani Doshi is one of them, and he is a South Indian person who went on an expedition with a group of teenagers affiliated with one program, and the program is Student on Ice. Okay, who takes now what is the motivation or what is the motto of this program is that is that they takes young minds or youngsters to different ends of the world, and that it gives an insight into how Antarctica is a place you should visit to have a glimpse of the past, present, and future in its realistic form. Right? So I hope you understand this is the story of Antarctica and the visit of this our writer Tishani Doshi. Now, if you say that if you want to know more about planets past, present, and future, Antarctica is the place to go, born wise. And if you want to know the origin and the past history, the reality, and what will be the future. If you want to know, then you should go to the Antarctica. And he said that born wise, that is means happy journey. Early this year, let's start line by line explanation. Early this year, I found myself aboard a Russian research vessel, the academic's Sokal Sky. This is the academic name, heading towards the oldest, driest, and windiest continent in the world, and that is Antarctica. I really found that they are going to plan one visit to this Antarctica. My journey began. Now their journey began 30.9 degrees north of equator in Madras. Now he started from Madras and involved crossing 9 zones. Now he had crossed 9 zones, 6 checkposts, 3 bodies of water, and at least as many ecospheres. Ecosphere means part of universe habited by living organism. Okay, so this is the way that he started his journey. By the time I actually set foot on the Antarctic continent, I had been traveling over 100 hours in combination of car, now an aeroplane, a ship. Now from by these three means of travels that he traveled 12 hours. So my first emotion on facing Antarctica's expansive white landscape and interrupted blue horizon was relief. Now you know that Antarctica there is no human being, and this is not habited continent. So it is uninterrupted. So there is no interruption. So that is his journey that he was traveling. followed with an immediate and profound wonder. Profound is very great and intense wonder that he found. Wonder at its immensity, its isolation. Now, one thing that he noticed it is isolated, and isolated means lonely, right? Separation, but mainly at how there could ever have been a time when India and Antarctica were parts of the same landmass. Now here he found the history of the Antarctica, and he said that once upon a time that India and Antarctica were part of the same land masses. Now landmass is a continent or a large body of land. Now that he was talking about the past, present and future, right? Now he was talking about what is the past. 650 million years ago, a giant amalgamated. Amalgamated means combine or unite to form one substructure. Okay, amalgamated southern supercontinent. Now, southern supercontinent is a former large continent from which other continents are held to have broken off and drifted away. Now, जो continent से that is drifted and departed and separated. Gondwana did indeed exist, centered roughly around the present day Antarctica. And he was talking about this particular supercontinent, and its name is Gondwana. And other continents are this is still exist in Antarctica. Things were quite different then. Humans hadn't arrived on the global scene, and the climate was much warmer, hosting a huge variety of flora and fauna. Now, the writer is talking about that before that time, the time he has given 650 million years ago, that time the humans are not arrived here, and there is no that is interruption of human, and the climate was very good, warmer, and there is a huge variety of flora and fauna. For 500 million years, Gondwana thrived. Thrive means flourished, but around the time when the dinosaurs were wiped out and the age of mammals got underway, the landmass was forced to separate into countries, shaping the globe much as we know it today. Now, how the countries and the right now the map we have, now how it was created. So after that 50 million years, there is the another age of dinosaur, and that age of dinosaur was wiped out, and after that one another age, that is the mammals age, got underway, and that time this Gondwana, that land mass was forced to separate into different countries and shaping the globe. Right now, the globe which we have, that which we know is today. To visit Antarctica now, it is to be a part of that history. Now, if you want to know the history, you just go to Antarctica and you can find the reality. To get a grasp of where we have come from and where we could possibly be heading. Now, this is the place where you can find that where we have been before and where we will going to, what will happen now, going to heading, and in which direction we are heading. So that can be seen from the Antarctica. Sorry. It is to understand the significance of Cordilleran folds and pre-Cambrian granitic sills. Now, Cordilleran folds means an extensive chain of mountains or mountain ranges, right? So that is the ranges of mountains, and pre-Cambrian granite sills. Now, this is a large areas of relatively low elevation that form parts of continental masses, right? So that is the ozone and carbon evaluation and extinction. When you think about all that can happen in million years, now this all this happen in million years, it can be happen. It can get pretty mind-blogging. Mind-blogging means overwhelming. It can get pretty mind-blogging. Imagine. Now you just imagine India pushing northward, jamming us against Asia to buckle its crust and forms the Himalayas. Now here you can see that how the Himalayas, that mountain range is arranged in a form. South America drifting off to join North America, opening up the dark page of a dark page, a passage to create a cold circumpolar current. Now North America and South America were pushed and drifted to join to the cold polar, right? Keeping Antarctica frigid. Frigid means very cold in temperature and this desolated. Desolate means uninhabited and giving an impression of bleak and emptiness. Now that is only one Antarctica was their continent, so which is very cold and that was isolated and at the bottom of the world. For a sun worshipping South Indian like myself to weeks in a place where 90% of the Earth's total ice volumes are stored in a chilling prospect, not just for a circulatory and metabolic functions, but also for the imagination. Now you just imagine that he is a South Indian man and he is worshipping sun and for 2 weeks in a place where you did not find the sun and 90% of Earth's total ice are stored in this place, right, in Antarctica. It's like walking into a giant ping pong ball. Now here you can see that this is the Antarctica and this is the ship ping pong ball devoid of any human markers, no trees, billboards, buildings. Now you just imagine how is this continent is. No trees, no billboard, only snow, snow, snow. You lose all earthly sense of perspective and time here. So you didn't find any earthly senses and any perspective and time here. The visual scale ranges from the microscopic, the mighty, midges and mighties, the blue whales and icebergs as big as countries. Now here you can only find the blue whales and other mammals and that is the water creatures, water animals you can find. The largest recorded was the size of Belgium. Now that they are talking about the size of the blue whales. Days go and on in Surreal 24 hours astral summer light, right? Surreal means unusual and astral means astral means relating to the southern hemisphere that he was talking about that he was relating it uh, interrupted only by the occasional avalanche snowslide or carving, spit and shed ice sheets. Consecrated means make or declare scared, scared, uh, sacred the place. It's an immersion means submerge that will force you to place yourself in the context of the earth geographical history. And for humans, the prognosis isn't good. Prognosis means a forecast of likely outcome of a situation. So now they were having days on days on this place and the situation is going worse and it is impossible for humans to stay there. Human impact. Human civilizations have been around for Paltry. Paltry means petty or insignificant. 12,000 years, barely a few seconds on the geographical clock. Now, that if you are talking about that our human civilization is having 12,000 years around on this planet, is the short of amount of time we have managed to create quite rukas. Rukas means a row of commotion, etching means engraved our dominance over nature with our villages, towns, cities and megacities. Now here the writer is talking about we have very less time of civilization on earth. Before that the earth is already here, but after the civilizations we have dominated over the nature, and how the human dominated on a planet earth with their villages, towns, cities and megacities, and with the facilities of the humans, with the facilities, with the desire, and with to satisfy the desire of the human nature. The rapid increase of human population has left us battling with our species for limited resources. Now you just imagine one of the burning matter or one of the burning problem of today is the human populations. Now if you are seeing that, and because of this there are many other species now who are the habitant of this planet earth, they are having the limited resources, and the unmitigated, that means unconditional burning of fossil fuels has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world. And because of this is fuel and fossils, that is the pollution that have created one blanket over the planet, and that blanket is carbon dioxide, the increasing of the carbon dioxide over or around the world, which is slowly but surely increasing the average global temperature. And because of that, the global temperature is increasing. Now, the global warming, this is the burning problem that we are facing, the global warming problem. And you all know that what is global warming, and you all are really well or really aware about the global warming problem, that the global temperature is going high, the climate change that we are facing. And right now, that whenever you go outside, mostly in Delhi, the air pollution, right? That is also the reason behind this the increasing of carbon dioxide, blanket of the carbon dioxide. Okay, going further, climate change is one of the most hotly contested environmental debates of our time. Now, I also know when I was a student that many times in a debate or in an elocution competition, we have this problem, we have this topic, climate change. But we, as a student, we were doing for the sake of doing that to get a prize, or we are cramming and to get to have a participation in the school. But in reality, right now, we are understanding that how serious this problem is, the global warming and the climate change. Now, this is up to you. Now, you are a younger generation, you are our future generation. That how will be your future if you are not concentrating on this human populations as well as on global temperature or climate change. Will the West Antarctic ice sheet melt entirely? Now you know that the Antarctic ice sheets are melting, right? Will the Gulf Stream ocean current be disrupted? Now that the level of the ocean is disrupted, will it be end of the world as we know it? Now maybe, and Is this the end of the world that we are talking about? Maybe and maybe not, right? Maybe this happens if now just imagine that the whole Antarctica's ice is going to melt, then the water will come on whole world and the ocean is interrupted, disrupted, and maybe that will be the end of the world and maybe not. Either way, Antarctica is a crucial element in this debate. Now you know that this Antarctica is a crucial element, not just because it is the only place in the world which has never sustained a human population and therefore remains relatively pristine. Pristine means in its original condition or unspoiled, right? So now there is only one place, Antarctica, where there is no human sustain and there is no human population, and that is it is in this respect it is an original, but more importantly, because it holds in its ice cores half million years old carbon records trapped in its layer of ice. Now you can see that the carbon records that the air has that ozone and carbon that is carbon dioxide layer that trapped in the layer of the ice. If we want to study and examine the earth's past, present and future, Antarctica is the place to go. Okay. Student on Ice. This is the title of the program. I was working with on Soska Sky aims to do exactly this by taking high school students to the end of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities which will help them foster a new understanding and respect for our planet. Now this program is for youngsters and so that they can understand the reality and they can have a solution of the problem and they can give the respect to our planet. It's been in operation for 6 years now, headed by Canadian Geoff Crane, who got tired of carting celebrities and retired rich, curiously seekers who could only give back in a limited way. Now, this program was started by one Canadian army man and whose name is Geoff Crane, who was very rich and celebrity and who was very curious. And on the other hand, he was very tired of his day-to-day life, and he inspired that he should give back to the nature, and that's why he did this 6 years now. This program with the students on ice, he offers the future generation of policymaker a life-changing experience and age when they are ready to absorb, learn, and most importantly, act. It's a very important thing that we did and for these youngsters. The reason the program has been so successful is because it is impossible to get anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. Now, it is a really very important thing that right now we are I'm teaching and you are learning this lesson. We are discussing the problem. It is very easy to sit and talk about any climate change problem or any population we are talking about that, and we have many that videos also about climate change. But to sit and talk is very easy. But when you go there and when you find and when you see that the glaciers are melting, it's really affect you. It's easy to be blessed about polar ice caps, glacier melting while sitting in the comfort zone of our respective latitude and longitude. But when you can visibly see glaciers retreating and ice caps collapsing, you begin to realize that the threat of global warming is very real, which I have told you that to sit and talk about global warming and for the sake of getting marked. If you are reading this chapter, it is very easy. But when you see and when you realize by your mere eyes that the ice sheets are collapsing, the glaciers are retreating. That time you realize that the global warming problem is a real problem, and we should do something. Now here you can see the picture here. Antarctica, because of a simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Take the mic now here. This is the only place where you can do any research, because this is biodiversity lack of because of lack of biodiversity. Take the microscopic phytoplankton. Now this is one grass, those grass of the sea, that is in a sea, that nourish and sustain the entire South Ocean's food chain. Now this is the very important food chain of this for this southern, or you can say that that sea mammals or sea creatures. The single-celled plant use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important of processes called photosynthesis. Scientists warn that a further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton. Now, how this works? Now, because of the depletion of ozone layer, this process, which is called photosynthesis, is stopped, or it is interrupted because of the depletion in the ozone layer, which in turn will affect the lives of all marine animals. Now, because of this, it will affect the marine lives also, birds of the region, not only the marine animals, but the birds of this Antarctica region, and the global carbon cycle. In the parable of the phytoplankton, there is a great metaphor of existence. Existence means take care of small things and big things will fall into place. Take care of small things and big things will fall into place. Okay. Last chapter, Walk on the Ocean. My Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies, but the best occurred just short of the Antarctic Circle at 65.55 degrees south. The Sokalskais had managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and that whole island, which was preventing us from going any further. Now he was saying his experience that these two islands that preventing them to going further. The captain decided we were going to turn around and head back north. Now because of this island, they are going back and head back north. But before we did, we were all instructed to climb down the gangplank and work on the ocean. Now, before we go, the follow the instruction, other instruction came, and that is to climb down the gangplank. So there we were, all 52 of us, meted out in Gore-Tex and glads, working on a stark whiteness that seemed to spread out forever. Underneath our feet was a meter thick ice pad, and underneath that 180 meters of living, breathing salt water, and under that there was the water. In the periphery crater, seals were stretching and sunning themselves on ice floes, much like stray dogs will do under the shades of banyan tree. I was talking about that the seals are also playing like dogs, that how they are playing under the banyan tree. It was nothing short a revelation. Everything does indeed connect. 9 time zones, 6 checkposts, 3 bodies of water, and many ecospheres later, I will still wondering about the beauty of balance in play on our planet. Now I hope you understand that this is very easy English. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? Now once it was a very warm place, and I told you in the history now how the countries are departed. Will we be around to see, or what would be gone the way of dinosaurs, mammoths, and woolly rhinos? Now, this is the thing that this is the way again the Earth and the planets is going to depart like in a past, like a dinosaurs and mammoths. Who is to say now? Who is going to say about it? But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers who still have the idealism to save the world. Now, these teenagers are very interested in saving the earth and the world. All I can say is that a lot can happen. A lot can be happen in a million years. But what a difference a day makes. Now, in a million days, we can do many things. But if you can do a difference in a one day, that is also very important. Okay, I hope you understand the story and the lesson. It is very important and very interesting story, and it gives a life lesson that Antarctica help us foresee the future also. The place gives an awakening to the threatening alarm, or you can say that this is a threatening alarm that global warming is actually real. Who knows that if Antarctica will be warm again, and even if it does, will we be alive to see it, or we don't know what will be the future. But we have to be careful, and we have to understand that this is the real thing, and this is global warming is real thing, and we have to take care of our planet by having that is the overpopulation, that is also burning problem, that is the climate change, populations, and pollutions. Now, so we have to save this earth uh, for the future generation. Thank you for you guys. Thank you so much. Have a nice